Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to crack open corporate secrets and see if there is any actual treasure inside or just a lot of dusty old documents. Today we've got Daxor Corporation, and let's just say their latest filing is a real page turner if you are into the exciting world of, well, let's find out. So, what is the big news from Daxor Corporation? Well, it looks like they've dropped a current report, basically an update to keep everyone in the loop. Think of it like a quick newsletter from the company, telling us what has been happening. This particular report, called an 8, is for important events that really make a difference. And today, the main thing they're sharing is their latest investor presentation. It is like they're showing off their homework to the investors and saying, see, we're doing great things. Now, why should we care about an investor presentation? Because it is where companies try to paint the rosiest picture possible of their performance and future plans. It is like the company's highlight reel. They'll be talking up their successes, explaining their strategies, and basically trying to convince everyone that they're a fantastic investment. We're going to dive into what this presentation might be trying to tell us, and more importantly, what it might be hiding. This report is filed with the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. They're like the financial police, making sure companies play by the rules and don't mislead investors. So anything they file is usually pretty important. The date on this report is the 23rd of January 2026. This means the information they're sharing is pretty fresh, reflecting events that happened right up to that point. It is always good to look at these updates to see if the company is moving forward or standing still. Daxor Corporation has common stock, which is what most people think of when they talk about owning a piece of a company. It is traded on NASDAQ, a big stock exchange. This tells us they are a publicly traded company, meaning their financial health and business dealings are open for us to see, and that is exactly what we're here to decode for you. Under the other events section, they're telling us about the investor presentation. This is often where companies disclose things that don't fit neatly into other categories, but are still considered significant for investors. It is a catch-all for important, yet less structured news. Then we get to the exhibits. This is where they attach the actual documents they're referring to. In this case, the main exhibit is the investor presentation itself. It is basically the company saying, here is the proof of what we're talking about. So the investor presentation is the star of the show today. This is where Daxor will likely highlight their financial achievements, growth strategies, and future outlook. We'll be looking for any key financial numbers they decide to showcase. Are they talking about revenue growth, profit margins, or maybe new product pipelines? This is where they put their best foot forward. Remember, these presentations are designed to be persuasive, so we'll be looking for the substance behind the style. And who is signing off on this? Robert J. Michel, the Chief Financial Officer. This is the person responsible for the company's financial health and reporting. His signature means he is standing by the information being presented, giving it an official seal of approval. So while the presentation is exciting, it is the CFO's stamp that tells us this is official corporate communication. Now, let's try to get a glimpse of what might be in that investor presentation. Even though we only have the filing mentioning it, companies like Daxor usually like to show their progress in terms of revenue and profitability. If they're reporting positive figures, they'll likely highlight them prominently. For instance, if their sales have been climbing, they'll probably mention it with big, bold numbers. A rising revenue means more money is coming into the business, which is generally a good sign. They might also talk about their earnings or the profit they make. If their profits are up, that is another strong indicator that the company is doing well. It means they are not just selling more, but they are also managing their costs effectively. We usually look for steady growth over time. A one-off jump can be good, but consistent improvement is what signals a healthy, growing business. Sometimes companies will also talk about their market position. Are they gaining market share? Are they facing stiff competition? This information, though not always in numbers, gives us a clue about their competitive strength. If they are a leader in their niche, that is a significant advantage. We also want to see if they're setting realistic goals for the future. An investor presentation isn't just about looking back, it is also about looking forward. Are their future plans ambitious yet achievable? Do they have a clear strategy for growth? These are the questions we'll be trying to answer by reading between the lines of their presentation. Keep in mind that these presentations are often a curated view, so we have to be detectives and look for the full story. Looking broadly at Daxor Corporation, it is important to understand what they actually do. Without knowing their industry, it is hard to judge if their reported numbers are good or bad. Are they in a booming sector or a struggling one? This external context is vital. For example, if they're in tech and reporting slow growth, that might be a concern, as the tech industry often boasts rapid expansion. Conversely, if they're in a more stable, traditional industry and showing consistent albeit slower growth that could be a sign of a solid, dependable business. We also need to consider the overall economic climate. Is the economy strong with consumers spending freely, or are people tightening their belts? This can significantly impact a company's performance regardless of how well it is run. Daxor's results will be influenced by these broader economic forces. When we analyze an investor presentation, we're essentially looking for a story. Is it a story of unstoppable growth, smart innovation, or maybe a company navigating challenging times with resilience? We're trying to separate the hype from the reality. Are the numbers they're showcasing truly indicative of sustainable success, or are they hiding underlying weaknesses? For instance, a company might boast about increased sales, but if their costs have skyrocketed, their profits might actually be shrinking, which is something to watch out for. Looking past the glossy slides, we're seeking concrete evidence of a well-managed business with a bright future. This means not just looking at the top line, the revenue, but also the bottom line, the profit. Are they generating real cash? Are they investing wisely in their future? These are the core questions that determine a company's long-term health. One key thing to remember is that investor presentations are marketing tools. They are designed to attract and retain investors, therefore while they provide valuable information, they are not necessarily a neutral or complete picture. Our job at Corporate Decoder is to dig deeper, to look for what is not immediately apparent, and to provide you with a more objective assessment. We want to identify any potential risks or red flags that might not be emphasized in the presentation. Consider this: a company might brag about launching a new product. That is exciting. But if that product is costing them a fortune to develop and isn't generating much revenue yet, it might actually be a drain on their resources. These are the nuances we try to uncover. We're looking for a balanced perspective, acknowledging both the strengths and the weaknesses. So to summarize, Daxor Corporation has released an 8K filing pointing us to their latest investor presentation. This presentation is their chance to highlight their performance and future plans to the investment community. We'll be scrutinizing those details, focusing on financial highlights, strategic direction, and any potential risks that might be present. Our aim is to give you a clear, simple understanding of what this filing means for the company and its investors. Now, looking at these numbers more broadly, we need to ask ourselves, what is the overall direction Daxor Corporation is headed? Are they showing consistent improvement, or are there signs of stagnation or decline? We should assess their strengths. What are they doing well? Are they innovating in their field, building a strong brand, or perhaps managing their operations very efficiently? These are the pillars of a successful company, but we also have to consider their weaknesses. Where are they falling short? Are they struggling with competition, facing significant debt, or perhaps having trouble adapting to market changes? Identifying these weaknesses is crucial for understanding the full picture. It is not about pointing fingers, but about providing a realistic assessment. Then there are the risks and opportunities. Every company faces risks. For Daxor, this could be anything from changing regulations in their industry to unexpected economic downturns. But with risks often come opportunities. Are there new markets they could enter, or new technologies they could leverage? Recognizing these is key to evaluating their future potential. In conclusion, Daxor Corporation's filing, while seemingly just an announcement of an investor presentation, opens the door to understanding their current status and future trajectory. We will use this information as a starting point to evaluate their performance. If the investor presentation reveals strong financial growth and a clear, well-executed strategy, that is a positive sign. If it reveals stagnation or significant challenges, we'll need to consider that carefully. The ultimate goal is to provide you with an informed opinion on whether Daxor Corporation appears to be a company on solid footing, poised for future success, or facing significant headwinds. Alright, that is our initial look into Daxor Corporation's latest filing. What is your take on what this means for the company? Do you see any particular strengths or weaknesses that stand out to you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this breakdown helpful in decoding corporate news, please hit that like button, it really makes a difference. And don't forget to subscribe to Corporate Decoder for more in-depth analysis of financial documents. Make sure you check out the link in the description to join our Discord community, where we discuss these topics further. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.